This is because we're becoming so disconnected, right? We might be physically present with someone, but our mind is totally, completely out there. Hey guys, it's Choi here. Today, I want to talk to you guys about one of the leading causes of stress, and that's work. Most of us live such busy lives now. Approximately 50% of our waking hours is spent doing things associated with work, whether that's time at the office, whether that's our commute, or whether that's just the time that we're thinking about work outside of work. We're spending about 50% of our waking hours on that. And it's really gotten to a point where it's become so intrusive in our daily lives that it starts to impact all of the other aspects of our life. And this can be really stressful for a lot of people, right? How often have you gone out with your partner or gone out with your group of friends after a long day at work and you just can't remember a thing you guys had talked about? This is because we're becoming so disconnected, right? We might be physically present with someone, but our mind is totally, completely out there, right? We're thinking about other things. We're on our phones all of the time. We're constantly just dwelling on work, right? And, this can be really unhealthy, right? And so I know that through my personal experience over the past 2 years, I've definitely felt this way. I can barely remember the things that have happened over the past 2 years. And for the longest time, I thought, oh wow, I'm getting older and so my memory is getting worse. But really what it is that I was just getting really disconnected from everyone that I was spending time with. My family, my partner, friends, colleagues, everyone, right? And so I really took this time to reflect on how can I avoid this, right? Because I know that I'm not the only one suffering through this. And today I want to share with you guys some of the insights that I've been able to get in case you haven't, done these already, or in case you're struggling with this and you're, sort of at a loss as well too. So number one, the first thing and one of the most important things I've done is turn off notifications. And what I mean by that is that I have gone through every single app on my phone that isn't relevant towards my grand vision, towards my vision board, and I've turned off the notifications for all of them. This way, I reduce the amount of time I'm distracted, right? Like, how often have you been out with someone and your phone just keeps buzzing, or maybe you're at work, maybe you're trying to get something really important done, but every 5 minutes or every 30 seconds even, your phone keeps buzzing, right? And that can be one of the worst things for productivity and for your mental health, right? Studies show that we get distracted about 7 times every hour, right? And so every time you get distracted, you really have to put in the same amount of work to get back to that same focus level you were at, right? And this can be really detrimental for relationships, right? You're out with your partner and you're constantly getting distracted, right? How can you be connected if that's the case? So turning off notifications was one of the most life-changing things that I've done. The other thing is turning on do not disturb mode. I have set my phone to go on do not disturb mode after a certain time, right? And I've set it in a way where the most important people in my life will still be able to get a hold of me, even despite this do not disturb mode. Everyone else, it will just go straight to voicemail, right? And so doing that allows me to make sure that I get to, really just disconnect and focus on, things like self-development, or things like, my relationships and friendships and my family, really. So that's number one. Number two is deep breathing. This is a technique that is, incredibly challenging, but, one of the ways that I've been able to simplify it for myself is just learning, a deep breathing technique that works for me. And so for me, what works is just following my breath through my deep breathing exercises, right? And if you sort of just visualize your breath as it goes through your nose and your mouth down to your lungs and then back out again, that to me is one of the most calming strategies that I can use. And it allows me to bring my mind from wherever it is to the present moment, right? And it really exercises the idea of mindfulness, right? I'm sure you've heard this term over and over again, right? And it really allows you to, just disconnect, right? Disconnect from everything else that's going on outside of whatever it is that is going on wherever you are at that given time. Right, so deep breathing. And the third one sort of relates to deep breathing, and that's guided meditation. So there's been several studies shown that our brains go through different wavelengths, right? One of the wavelengths is called the alpha state. Now, alpha state is one of the most relaxed states that you can possibly be in, and meditation actually allows you to get there, right? And so there's several different meditations out there now, and you can, feel free to research it. Let me know which one works best for you, because I'm always interested in learning, right? But one of the ones that has worked well for me is a 6-phase guided meditation, right? And so, I basically, what I'll do is I will plug in my earphones, or I will, blast it on my speaker phones, or whatever the case is. And I will just take a moment to myself, right, about 15 minutes, and I'll go through this meditative state. And having that guided meditation allows me to really focus on, whatever the voice is telling me, right? Whatever, the guide is telling me to do, right? And so I found that this has been effective for myself, because, when I just do meditation in a completely silent state, I find that my brain tends to wander, and I haven't been able to develop a strategy around that yet. And so maybe that is something that you struggle with, and so maybe this is something that you might want to look into, right? And so going back to it, meditation allows you to get into this alpha state where you feel incredibly relaxed, and it really exercises, again, mindfulness, right? Being present of the current moment. And so this is a technique that I've been really trying to practice, at least 3 to 5 times per week, and hopefully trying to get to, once a day, right? And it definitely takes time, right? It definitely takes time to build up that technique. So these are 3 of the different things, 3 of the most powerful things that I've personally started to utilize and have been utilizing in my life to really bring my mind back from wandering on all of these different projects and, my work and what have you, to the present moment. And I have a tendency to try to do these things before, connecting with family or connecting with my partner or what have you, and it's really, really made a difference in my life, and I hope that it makes a difference in yours. Let me know what you think. I hope at least one of these things work for you. If not, let me know what has worked for you, and I'm interested in learning as well too. So that's it for this week, guys. Take care.